Hey everybody, let's talk about a very useful tool, and it helps to verify integrity of a file. It's called Hasher, and most forensic tools do have some type of hashing capability built into it. But one thing that you'll learn is that you want to verify hashes. So I'll check the hash that's generated by the forensic software that I'm using, but I'll run my own hashing software and I'll compare the two hashes. And hashes are very important when you're dealing with digital data. Uh, it helps to verify not only the validity, but any changes that are made. Now, one of the hashing tools, I have two hashing tools I really like, but one of the ones I really like is Hasher by Eric Zimmerman. If you want to download that tool, you can go to his GitHub. If you put in hashing tool Eric Zimmerman, click on his tool, it'll take you to his GitHub. And Hasher is located right here. It's a very simple tool that I use. The other hashing tool is by I think it's a company called Fresh Farms. I think I'll put in Hasher tool. It's been a while since I downloaded these. I already have them. Um, it's this one right here, and I found it to be very safe. I get the portable version because you can actually put this on a USB and be able to run it. But today we're going to work with Hasher by Eric Zimmerman's tool. Um, sorry, wrong, clicking a little too fast there, right? So it's a very simple tool. Is there's not any install. It comes in a download folder in a zip folder. You unzip it and it's ready to go. You just click on the icon. So we'll set this over here. We'll put this down. And then I want to go in already and I want to make a change at the options. As you see, there's a bunch of different types of hashes. If you're not familiar with hashes, but I definitely want to do SHA-1 and MD5. Now, SHA-256 is actually the accepted, but we want to keep this video short, and it could take a while to do SHA-256 and SHA-512. Um, that'll take us a while. So what we want to do is we want to keep the same hash, and I want to make sure to unclick the results between runs, at least for this exercise that we're doing. So a hash could tell us if there's any changes made to a file. So let's right click. We'll go to new. We'll go down and start a new text document. I'll call it hash test. All right. So we want to go in and we want to put some information in here and we'll say 1 day is now. Okay. With a period. And we'll save that. And we'll exit that out. And let's run that hash on that file. So we'll go to select file. You can actually do entire folders on here. We'll go to our desktop. We'll go to the hash test and we'll open that. And we can see we have a hashes generated over here for that. Okay. So let's go in the same file. Let's take out the period. Let's save it. Okay. And we'll exit out and we'll run the hash on the same file. So select file, hash test. And as you can see, we have different hashes now for that file, if you can see that. Okay. What do you think would happen if we go back in and we put the period in? Do you think it'll go back to the same or will it change? Let's hash it again. And as you can see, it went back to the original hash. Just the first one up there and that one. Okay, let's try another test. Let's change the name on it. Let's rename it. Let's call it hash exam. Okay. So it has a different name. Do you think the hash will change on it? Let's see. Open it up and look at it. It's the same one as the first one, the third one, and that. So why didn't the hash change with the name? Well, the hash didn't change with the name because we didn't change any information inside of the file. The hash only looks at the information inside of the file. It doesn't look at the hash name. Uh, and that's one thing you have to realize about hashes. So let's say we want to take this one. Let's rename it back to test. Okay. And we'll go back inside the file and we'll just uncapitalize the one. I mean, we use the same character, right? We just made it lowercase. No change, right? What happens if we run that hash again? As you can see, it actually changed this last one down here. It changed the hash. Because again, we changed the information inside the file. Whether it's lowercase or uppercase, we actually changed the information. So one more time, we're going to change that back to a capital because we're going to try something else. We're going to hit the save, and we want to verify that hash one more time, right, to make sure that it shows the same. So let's select that file. Let's select hash test, and we're back to the same original hash as this one right here. So what happens if we change the file type? What do you think? So instead of it being, well, let's do this. We're going to have to go into file here. And what we want to do is view, and this is Windows 10. We want to show file extension names. So we want to see the extensions. This is a .exe, and from .ini, which is a configuration file, and .txt. So now I can see the extension on that file. So I'm going to rename it. We'll make it into a picture file. How about JPEG? Change it to a JPEG. Yep, we're going to change it to a JPEG. So now it's showing as a picture file instead of a text file. So do you think that'll change the hash? Well, as you can see, it's got the same hash. So it doesn't matter if we change it to a JPEG or not, the hash still stays the same because again, we did not change the information inside the file. So why is that useful? Because one, we can verify whenever I do a digital forensic investigation, I make a copy of an image and I hash that image. And then I will take that hash and I'll examine it. And then at the very end of the examination, I'll perform another hashing procedure on it to show that no information was changed on it. That holds integrity. But another use that we can have for this is that we have hashes of known files. So if we know the hash of certain files, we can use that hash to go back and find that file. We can search that whole computer to find that file. So it doesn't matter what type of file, and people will try to hide files by changing the extension, just like I did. They'll change it to a PDF. And so you're sitting there thinking, hey, this is a PDF instead of really it's a picture file. And that changes the icon in Windows. But if we know hashes and we know what the hash value is, we can still find that information and say, hey, this is not that type of file by just looking at the hashes themselves. So I hope that you find this as much of a useful tool as I do. I love it. Like I said, you can play around. You can download this one, or this one's good too. I've used this one a couple times just to show you the interface on it. One thing I do love about this one is that it keeps a log. I haven't ran anything on it on this computer, but it keeps a log of a different file. So let's say you take a file. The good thing is you can drag and drop actually. and it'll give you all those different um, hashes. You can unclick some of these if you don't need it. But once you do a hash and you go into the log, you can view the log and it shows those hashes that it's saved for that file. And if you do more than one file, you can actually compare files. So if you go to um, options here, you compare the next two files, or you can compare the next two files, you compare just the next file, or you can export that whole entire log, save that log if you're doing a series of files, and you can compare and you'll have a list of the entire hashes that you did. So again, if I'm doing multiple hashes, I do like to use Hashlight here, but I'm a big fan of Hasher as well because I can export that out to a Excel worksheet. Um, if I save the results, I can do it to Excel or I can do it as TXT. Usually, a lot of times I do it to an Excel spreadsheet. Um, so again, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions about any of these tools, just let me know. Take care until our next video.